Hello, I am Marisha and welcome to my creative diary. I hope you're having a great day. So today I'm going to use pattern paper as inspiration to create 2 interactive cards. So let's get started. In my previous video, I showed you how to create 2 cards out of this pattern paper that I used from Honeybee Stamps. Today I'm going to use this pattern paper that is from the same paper pack. It is double-sided, and I am going to use it as inspiration to create my cards. To begin, I'm going to bring in Honeybee Stamps Babee stamp set, and I'm going to stamp the images out multiple times because I'm going to create multiple cards. I am using Copic markers to color the images, so sit back, relax, and I'll check back in with you in just a moment. Now that I'm done coloring, I am going to bring in a glitter pen to color the wings of the bee. My card base is an A2 standard sized side folded card. For the panel, I used Concord and Ninths stitched stripe card front die, and I'm going to die cut the panel off camera. And for the front of the card, I brought in Lawn Fawn's small stitched rectangle stackable die set. This is actually my favorite die set. I use it a lot. But yeah, I'm going to use it to die cut out the front of the card. To create the interactive element for the card, I'm going to select a die from Lawn Fawn's Slide On Over die set. For the sentiment, I'm going to use Honeybee Stamps Hi Honey stamp set. This stamp set is so adorable. It includes sentiments such as because of you, hi honey, and just because. I'm going to do some heat embossing, so I'm going to bring in my rabbit tool to prep the cardstock. Then from there, I'm going to line up the stamp. I'm then going to bring in Lawn Fawn's Black Licorice. I'm going to ink up the stamp, and then I'm going to stamp it a few times just to make sure I have a good impression. Normally, I'll stamp my sentiment twice or image twice, but every now and then I have to stamp it 3 times. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might need to re-ink my ink pad. I use it a lot. It's my favorite ink pad, and I've never re-inked it. Yeah, I think it's time. Next, I'm going to bring in some clear embossing powder, and I'm going to sprinkle some on top of the sentiment. And then from there, I'm going to tap off the excess. And then I'm going to bring in my heat tool and apply some heat. This is actually one of my favorite techniques. That is heat embossing sentiments and images on my cards. To me, it adds that extra dimension, and I just love it. Now it's time for the fun part. We're now going to assemble the interactive element to this card. So I'm going to bring in the slider die along with the bees so I can get a visual as to where everything's going to be placed on the card. Once I'm done, I'm going to tape down the slider, and then I'm going to run it through the die cutting machine. The piece that was die cut out using the slider die, I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to adhere it to the bottom panel. So the card front, I'm going to position it on the panel, and then I'm going to adhere the piece to the bottom panel. I'm now going to bring in some slider discs from My Favorite Things, and I'm going to position one on the back of one of the bees, and then I'm going to use adhesive glue to adhere it to the back of the bee. After it dries, I'm then going to bring in the card front, and I'm going to position the bee in the cutout. I'm then going to flip it over, and then I'm going to adhere a piece of cardstock, which I cut out. It's a little circle, and I'm going to place it on the other side of the disc. Now, some people will add pennies and dimes. I don't. There's a change shortage. I'm trying to save the change. Next, I'm going to add foam tape to the back of the card front. You can feel free to use a single layer of foam tape, or you can double it up. Just whatever you decide to do, just go for it. Making an interactive card, it's really easy. I know if it's your first time, it could be maybe intimidating. You're like, oh Lord, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Trust me, it's not hard at all. It's very, very easy. Now I'm going to add foam tape to the back of the other bee, and I'm going to place it on the card front. I'm then going to adhere the front to my card base. I am now going to bring in Honeybee Stamp's Rainbow Builder die set, and I'm going to use the little heart dies. I'm then going to select some cardstock from Tonic Studios' Ruby Romance Mixed Card Pack, and I'm going to die cut the hearts off camera. Using adhesive glue, I'm going to adhere the heart to the card front. To add a final touch to the card, I'm going to bring in some Nouveau Crystal Glaze and add some to the wings of the bees, giving them a dimensional look. And there you have it. The first card is done. For the second card, we're going to use some wobblers as the interactive element for the card. Using the opposite side of the pattern paper as inspiration to create this card, I went ahead and stamped Meant to Be on the card front. I'm now going to bring in the bees and position them on the card front. Once I'm happy with the placement, I'm then going to bring in the wobblers and add them to the back of the bees. And then I'm going to place the bees on the card front. The great thing about these cards that we are creating on today is that they can be easily mass produced for maybe a special occasion or Valentine's Day. All you'd have to do is, as I indicated in the beginning of the tutorial, just stamp out your bees, go ahead and color them, then cut them out. This set does come with a matching die set, or you can fussy cut them out. And then as you see with this card right here, all you have to do is stamp the sentiment, add the wobblers to the back of the bees, add the hearts, and there you have it, a quick, easy, simple card. Now I'm going to adhere the card front to the card base. That's it. This card is done, but I can't forget to add the Nouveau Crystal Glaze to the bee's wings. And here's a final glance at the card we just finished creating. And here is the first card. And there you have it, 2 easy cards to create by using pattern paper as inspiration. Thank you guys for joining me on today. I appreciate you as always. Don't forget to subscribe, click the thumbs up button and the notification bell, and check out my blog at thediaryofbellerose.com. The products that are used in this video are listed and linked below. I'm sending you love and a whole lot of hugs. Until next time, please take care.